Okay, so when I started the program at the time, I was at a 10.8 at the time. Um, and going through the 6 weeks, I was able to bring it down to a 8.6. I was in the 8 level, and that was just within 6 weeks.
And recently your A1c went to 6.8. Is that right?
Yep,
Okay. Yeah. So you told me you lost, how much was it again?
about 30 to 40 pounds because I was like 320 and now I'm like in the 370, 380 range.
You mean 270?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
270.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. So yeah, like about a 40 pound, maybe
Yeah.
even more.
I was diagnosed with diabetes, type 2 diabetes, back in the year of 2012. And during that time, it was actually stress induced, going through a very challenging time in life. I was a caregiver for my mom, taking care of her. During that time, laid off. So I was underneath a lot of stress because of that. And I wasn't eating properly, not getting enough rest as I should. And I stayed sick quite often. That year I was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, asthma, and bronchitis. I just got hit on all levels. My A1c was hard to get under control at the time, but caring for my mom, it gave me an insight what diabetes can do to the body. My mom was a type 2 diabetic. She had developed diabetic wounds. It started on her left leg. I would take her to wound care. I actually just basically became my mom's nurse, how to care for a wound. Eventually, it healed. They actually grew sterilized skin, which I didn't know this could be done in a Petri dish. It's like a thin layer of skin, and that is grown in a Petri dish. And her body actually accepted the skin and it healed, but it took about a good 6 months. Then she developed another diabetic wound on her right leg. But this wound had a brain and a heart. And what I mean by that is that this wound actually took half of her leg to the point that her tendon was exposed. Because of that, she lost nearly all of her mobility in her lower extremities. But learning and seeing how diabetes can actually tear down the body, it made me want to fight. After mom passing, but she passed in 2014, I was still battling with diabetes, trying to get it under control. They kept upping the dosage on the metformin, what I was taking, uh, 2,000 milligrams. They upped the glipizide to 20 milligrams, but they still didn't put me on insulin. I didn't hit insulin until I ended up with a slight wound on my thigh that started out as a mosquito bump and then it just got really, really big. So, because of the infection and it held a lot of pus and
Mhm.
bacteria, they put me on insulin. And that was the first time I went on insulin because my blood sugars then was running in the high threes, low 400s. Okay, so when I started the program at the time, I was at a 10.8 at the time. Um, and going through the 6 weeks, I was able to bring it down to a 8.6. I was in the 8 level. And that was just within 6 weeks.
And recently your A1c went to 6.8. Is that right?
Yep. Yep.
Okay. Yeah. So you're even closer now to your path. So you told me you lost, how much was it again?
About 30 to 40 pounds because I was like 320 and now I'm like in the 370, 380 range.
You mean 270?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
270.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. So yeah, like about a 40 pound, maybe
Yeah.
even more.
I moved to Maryland back in 2022. And, I figured on, okay, this is a new start, new beginning, start fresh. I knew I needed to get a grips on the diabetes. So one night I was flipping through my emails and came across this health email that linked me to mastering diabetes.
Hmm.
when I uh, listened to the video and everything, and I said, I really this can probably help me. And then I talked to my primary care doctor here. She was all for it. So then I signed up for the 6 week program. I just went cold turkey with it, sticking with the the recipes and
Mm-hmm.
everything, and then being in the small group. Well, that really helped because if I had questions, I was always, emailing him, asking him questions, and he always gave recipes, ideas. Other people in the group also, we kind of like fed off of each other to help, to help encourage each other going through this challenge. So when I started the program, that was back in 2022, and it did the 6 weeks, and I was at a 10.8, and then I went down to an 8. That was just after that first 6 weeks. When I saw how I dropped like I did, a light bulb went off. And I was like, okay, I'm on the right path. I need to
Mm-hmm.
stick with it. What the program did is that it helped me fall back in love with food again and not look at food as an enemy. It's all about learning the different foods and how to group them based on, your body and what you like and what you can stick with. Because the main thing is that it's being disciplined with
Mm-hmm.
it, and then having a game plan and know your why you're doing this. Why are you taking these steps? My why is that looking how diabetes, what my mom went through, I didn't want to go through that myself. But then at the same time, I ended up with challenges myself that even gave me more of a driving force to actually stick with it. That's with learning that I have diabetic eyes and have to get eye injections.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sorry, a needle should never kiss an eyeball. That's just wrong. That has become my driving force. And I know diabetes is something that a lot of people deal with. I want my journey to be a testimony and to be encouraging to someone else and say, yes, you can make a difference. Yes, you can change it. Just
Yeah.
because you were diagnosed with it doesn't mean you have to die with it. But to fight this disease and to go down this journey, I realized it does take support.
Yeah.
You do need that support. You do need those that has your best interest at heart to be there to encourage you. Yes, are you going to fall sometimes? Yes, I have.
Mm-hmm.
I tripped over, so, but I didn't stay there. I get back up because
Yeah.
I know, and I'm on the fight to save my sight. That has been my goal. I'm on this fight to save my sight. So my goal is reversing type 2 diabetes. It's not going to control my life. I'm going to control it.